With all of the beauty that Brazil has in one country, it is not surprising that tourists come from all over to visit. While Brazil's most famous landmark is the statue of Christ the Redeemer, the Iguazu Falls are a sight not to miss. I highly recommend their boat tours in order to view the 275 falls up close and personal, and maybe even get a little wet.
I just went under a waterfall.
Needless to say, Brazil is quite the adventure, but as many people know, it gets a bad rap for not being safe. So even though I was living the life of luxury in Brazil, taking a favela tour or tour of the slums in Rio really opened up my eyes.
Hi, I'm Alicia Koester here in Rio de Janeiro on the legendary Ipanema Beach, borders Copacabana. Living the life of luxury. This is definitely what draws all the tourists to Brazil, I'll tell you that much. But we're about to see a different side of Brazil and go into a favela.
Up until about a decade ago, the government had not recognized the existence of favelas. Andres of the Marcelo Armstrong Tour was apt to share his knowledge of the situation with us.
These favelas always grew outside the law. Not against the law, strictly speaking, but outside the law. With that, I mean that there was never any official presence in the favela. For instance, the police never went inside the favela. If there was a crime in the favela, you would call the police, they wouldn't show up. Because favelas were officially ignored. The state didn't recognize even the existence of favelas. So much so that until the year 1994, that is to say, 13 years ago, if you went to City Hall in Rio to see the official plans of the city of Rio, in those official plans there were no favelas. No, greenery all over, parks. So that's the good news. 13 years ago, we didn't have any favelas in Rio, officially at least.
By 1995, however, the government realized that they could not remove favelas after many attempts to relocate them. The size of the problem was just too large, so basic needs had to be given to them.
The state didn't do anything until finally the early 90s. During the early 90s, the state finally realized that these favelas are here to stay. You know, they have grown too much to be able to remove them. Just imagine trying to remove Rocinha. There's 200,000 people. They would have to build a new city. And Rocinha is one favela among 750 favelas. So just imagine the size of the problem. It's unmanageable. They finally realized as well that the only way to go was to improve the conditions inside the favela itself. So in the year 1995, 12 years ago, the city of Rio, together with the Inter-American Development Bank, they started a new plan that was called Favela Bairro. Favela Bairro means favela neighborhood. So the idea behind this plan was to turn these favelas into regular neighborhoods by providing them with the basic services.
In favelas, unemployment and crime rates are high, with 360 of Rio's favelas reported to be controlled or influenced by powerful drug gangs, Rocinha being one of them.
In any favela where there are drugs, the drug people have guns, and the police is not welcome. You know, first of all, when they were needed and called, they never showed up. The police always came inside the favela, shooting first, you know, trying to catch the drug, shooting first and then asking questions. And so the police is not welcome here. So the order and the law inside any favela with drugs is at the hands of the drug lord. They haven't invented any new code. They apply just customary law. But if there is a problem among the neighbors, they will call the drug lord, never the police.
One might think this would be chaos with drug lords in charge, but they've created their own set of rules.
So, in any favela with drugs, one of the golden rules is that nobody can steal. It's not allowed by the local drug lord. If anybody steals the first time, they will blow you one hand. That's the first time as a warning. Second time, they will cut your throat. And they do it. Can be a bit drastic, not too civilized if you want, but let me tell you, it works. Nobody steals in the favela. As a deterrent, works.
Not only does nobody steal, which was proven when our cameras remained safely in the car, but the drug lords also do not allow prostitution.
Another of the things that are not allowed in the favela is prostitution. If anybody wants to get prostituted, they have to leave the favela and do it outside. Inside the favela is not allowed by the local law.
So Rosinha now runs like a normal city, with drug lords keeping order instead of the police. It contains 700 shops and also has a local newspaper, TV station, some of which we ran into on the tour. Varying counts put the population in Rosinha anywhere between 150,000 and 250,000 people. For such a small space, the architecture was made to accommodate these families in a manner that feels somewhat like a maze. What satisfied me the most about our tour and all of the knowledge that I received from Andres was that we were helping the progress of this divided situation and helping children stay out of their easiest profession, drugs.
Well, actually, the people who sponsor the school most is you, because Favela Tours, we donate a good chunk of the procedures to keep the school open. When City Hall was helping, we were covering around 40% of the school budget. Now they left, we had to make up for them. Right now we are covering 80% of the school budget. That is, you are covering it because you pay for the tour.
And after seeing all there was to see in Rio, it was off to the luxurious town of Buzios for some unwinding.
Well, I'm down to my last few hours in Brazil, but I found a good way to spend it drinking a caipirinha in the beautiful Buzios. I feel like I've really seen it all, from the wildlife in Iguazu to the variations in life in Rio to the luxury of Buzios. Brazil is an amazing place, and I'm just going to soak it all in.